Well, Jeffrey Donson, who was convicted of child rape during his time as mayor in 2008, has been re-elected as mayor of Kannaland. Donson was re-elected as mayor during the 2021 local government elections, but ousted after backlash relating to his conviction resurfaced and the ANC coalition with ICOSA collapsed. For more on this, we speak to ANC Western Cape Spokesperson Sifiso Mstweni and Director for Community Safety and Action Society, Ian Cameron. A warm welcome to both our guests. Thank you so much for joining us on our platform this morning. Ian, I'd like to start this conversation with you. Your reaction to the latest development out of that special council sitting yesterday, Jeffrey Donson back in office as mayor of Kannaland.
Yeah, to be very honest, it left me speechless at first. It's absolutely astounding that not only can a party carry on supporting someone that has done something like this, but in the current space with gender-based violence and something like rape being such a massive problem in South Africa, that a convicted child rapist can become a mayor. There are certain public official positions that I believe need to be held to a high standard, to an even higher standard, and being a mayor is one of them. Your integrity needs to be absolutely above board. You cannot have been involved in any crime, never mind something as bad as child rape. And I know, often the defense is, no, it was statutory rape. But someone in that type of position must know better. So I think it's disgraceful, and I don't think it's something we can ever be silent about.
Sifiso, the excuse that's actually often proffered up around this debate is the fact that Mayor Jeffrey Donson was actually awarded a custodial sentence by the Western Cape High Court, which is devoid of any term of imprisonment. What are your thoughts with regards to that, and your response to Ian's statement there that individuals who occupy offices such as a mayoral office ought to be held to a higher standard in society?
Good morning to you and the viewers. Look, we agree 100%. You'd remember that the ANC pulled out of a coalition agreement with ICOSA, which was a provincial agreement, not just for Kannaland. But one of the issues that we had raised at the time with ICOSA was that we feel that its leadership is very compromised. Not only Jeffrey Donson, but his deputy and various other players within the organization. I agree that mayors and public representatives as a whole, and anyone who holds a leadership position, must be somebody who's not subjected to normal standards. There has to be some ethical responsibility attached towards those type of individuals, and we've taken a correct decision not to work with ICOSA, and we have noted what has happened in the Kannaland municipality, and the ANC will continue to raise its voice very sharply in the interest of the people of Kannaland to ensure that that municipality does not collapse under the hands of these compromised individuals.
Sifiso, you as an organization in Kannaland also find yourself in a very difficult, or at least a unique position. We know that there are three major political outfits in that municipality. We've got ICOSA, who received a majority of the votes in the last local government elections. We've got the ANC and we've got the DA. What sort of challenges does that present for you when you're talking about coming up with coalition agreements and partners and the like in a situation like this, where the party that has garnered the majority of the votes is fielding candidates that are seemingly not up to society's standards, society's moral and ethical standards at least?
Well, it's for the people of Kannaland themselves to really make that type of reflection, because if you look at the electoral outcomes, ICOSA indeed is a majority organization, although they do not have the over 50% that is required by the Electoral Act. But the community has consistently, upheld. You'd remember that Jeffrey Donson is not only a mayor, he's a ward councillor. So you've got that type of a problem. But the Kannaland municipality itself, I mean, at the level of the ANC provincial, we've had a discussion around the sustainability of that municipality. You'd remember that in the past, it was never really a standalone municipality, but over time, that municipality almost got to be a standalone. It's got about just 4 wards, and the area is not so big. It being a standalone municipality will always create that type of a challenge that you have. But in addition to the 3 parties that you just mentioned, there's also the independent party, the Kannaland Independent Party, which is the one that has actually given ICOSA this responsibility to run that particular municipality. But generally, the question of coalition politics, it's something that we're really looking into. It's something that we're discussing, because we really cannot have palace arrangements that are happening in dark corners that seemingly threaten service delivery. Because you can't have people of a particular area today waking up to this mayor. When they go to bed tomorrow morning, there's a completely new mayor, and there's no sustainability, and there's no sense of stability in those particular areas. So indeed, not only Kannaland, it's a matter that we must look into. I'm sure we can see that also happening in the metros across the country. The question of coalitions has to be looked into in such a way that municipalities don't collapse and that service delivery does not get compromised.
Well, Ian, Sifiso has just taken us through the political turmoil that in a way has contributed to the situation we find ourselves in Kannaland. But I think another question, and this was posed by you, in your opening remarks, how does one, justify having an individual of this kind elected into higher office? Our laws clearly are mute when it comes to this issue. He was given a custodial sentence, and that allowed him to stand again as mayor. But this is also an indictment on, the residents of Kannaland municipality, who, as Sifiso have said, have to reflect on the decisions that they're making in allowing themselves to be led by individuals of this kind. What are your thoughts on the lives of people who are affected by this development? I mean, are they at all giving thought to the kind of leadership that they are electing into these positions?
Yeah, I must say I agree with Sifiso. We must, in my opinion, we must question the and I'm going to say it very honestly, we must question the integrity or moral fiber of people that vote for someone that has done something like that, because often you then see the very same people coming to protest at a police station or coming to protest at a court of law when something similar has happened, and then they want justice, but they vote for someone that is a convicted child rapist. So, we must question that as well. I've previously, with the previous round, when Mr. Donson was the mayor, we sent several complaints to different officers, etc. And an answer that we often get, especially from government, whether provincial or elsewhere, is that, but there's no legislation that stops him from occupying such a position. And this is where it infuriates me that is the answer, and then everyone shrugs and we just carry on with life. Because what should happen there is we need to re-establish or reconsider legislation. That's where I like what Sifiso says, that we need to reconsider certain ways of doing to make sure that things don't collapse. Now, I'm not a political expert. I certainly don't know much about municipalities as Sifiso does. But what I can say is that if someone that's a convicted child rapist can so easily come into a position like that, then surely we need to reconsider regulation and legislation to stop that from happening, because we need a South Africa where leaders are above board. We need a South Africa where we know that our mayors and other leadership positions are above board and have the relevant integrity to fulfill the mandate in such an important position, especially in a South Africa where violent crime and sexual offences is such a major, major problem.
And I don't think you're asking for a lot there, Ian. Thank you so much to both our guests. That was ANC Western Cape Spokesperson Sifiso Mstweni and Director for Community Safety at Action Society, Ian Cameron, joining us to have that conversation on Kannaland's new mayor, Jeffrey Donson.